Hello students, today we will discuss what is diffraction. Diffraction, we have already seen that it is bending of light around the edges of an obstacle. In other words, we can define it as the encroachment of light within the geometrical shadow region. For that, we are considering a figure like this. You can see a figure on the board. S is a point source, Mn is an opaque obstacle, and there is a screen behind Mn. If S is a point source and we are placing an opaque obstacle in the path of the light, the source will cast a sharp, we are expecting the source will cast a sharp shadow of the obstacle Mn on the screen. If it is so, we can expect a geometrical shadow region on the screen between A and B, and above A and below B we can expect uniform illuminated region. But we are observing a different thing as shown in the graph. The graph represents the intensity distribution of the pattern on the screen with respect to the position of the screen from the center of the screen. If we are representing that as a graph, we can see that at center we are getting perfect darkness, and as we go from center to A or center to B, you can see A and B on the screen. The intensity of light is found to be gradually increasing, and there is an intensity at A and B also. As the distance increases from A, near and near A, we can see some patterns, dark and bright patterns, but the patterns are different from that of interference pattern, since the minima is not zero and maxima is not a constant value always, but it is the maxima, the intensity of maxima goes on decreases as the distance increases, and the intensity of minima increases as the distance increases, and these pattern became indistinguishable as the distance increased so much. That is, if the distance is very large from the center of the screen, then we can get almost uniform intensity on the screen. Now, this type of observations are not usually found in our common life. The reason is always the source is not point source. For example, if the source is an electric bulb, each point on the each point on the surface of the bulb forms its own diffraction pattern and a dark and bright diffraction band. Then they overlap each other such that no single pattern can be identified. Another important thing is the size of the obstacle should be comparable with that of the wavelength of the light we are using. Then only we can observe the diffraction. So in order to observe diffraction, there should be it should satisfy two conditions. The first one is the source should be a point source. The other one, the size of the obstacle should be small, comparable with that of the wavelength of the point source we are using. Now let us discuss the Fresnel theory of diffraction. In 1815, Fresnel combined Huygens wavelet with the principle of interference, and using this theory he was able to explain bending of light as well as approximate rectilinear propagation of light. For that he made some assumptions which are known as Fresnel's assumption. The first assumption is, he made this assumption in order to explain the bending of light as well as rectilinear propagation, and he considered a point source S, and we are considering an obstacle, a small obstacle Mn, and a screen XY, such a way that he tried to explain effect at various points on the screen due to the obstacle Mn, which is illuminated by the point source S. To study this, he made certain assumptions. The first assumption is, he divided the wavefront that is falling on the obstacle Mn into small areas, regions of small area called half period zone, or it is called a Fresnel half period zone. And the effect at any point on the screen is due to the secondary wavelets of all the secondary wavelets from each zone. And the second assumption is, he considered the effect at P due to each half period zone depends upon two factors. The first one is the distance between the point on the screen and the particular zone, as well as the obliquity or inclination of the point with respect to the zone under consideration. And the obliquity effect or factor depends upon the term 1 plus cos theta, or effect at P due to obliquity factor is proportional to 1 plus cos theta. And you know that when theta is equal to 0, cos theta is equal to 1. Therefore, 1 plus cos theta is equal to 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So, this is the maximum value of 1 plus cos theta. Now, we can consider theta is equal to 180 degree and cos 180 degree is equal to minus 1. Therefore, 1 plus cos theta is equal to 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. So, from this results, we can see that the maximum intensity due to a zone at C, at O, the point O on the screen will be maximum, and due to C at as the distance increases from O, the intensity, the effect at screen will decrease considerably. And also we can see another important result, that is from primary wavefront there should give a wave travelling forward as well as backward. As the amplitude at the rarer wave is 0, there will be no back wave. There will be only forward wave from the primary wavefront. There will be no back wave from the primary wavefront. That is an important result we are getting out of this Fresnel theory.